Being a new parent can be an exciting time. A child's first smiles, first steps, first words are all chronicled and recorded. But for parents of children with developmental disabilities, such as autism, those times can be filled with heartache instead of joy. This year, 1 in 88 children will be diagnosed with autism, and it affects 2 million individuals in just the U.S. alone. It is the fastest growing developmental disability in the U.S., and it is projected more children will be diagnosed with autism this year than AIDS, diabetes, and cancer combined.
ASD stands for Autism Spectrum Disorder, and it may include diagnoses such as pervasive developmental disorder, autism, or Asperger's syndrome. ASD really impacts the overall functioning and development of a child. Skills that may be affected may include communication, play, self-help, and safety and academic skills. With ASD, no two diagnoses are alike for an individual, so you may see a child who really presents as disengaged or withdrawn, and then you may see on the other side of the spectrum that a child that presents as very social and engaging.
The three general criteria are a deficit in communication, a deficit in socialization, and the presence of what's called stereotypies, which are really repetitive motor movements or verbal movements that are non-functional in nature. Because ASD is a spectrum disorder, that is the continuum, they can manifest themselves to a greater or lesser degree. So the behaviors are quite interfering, and they require specialized instruction to replace them with pro-social alternatives. Additionally, there are other behaviors such as aggression, self-injury, that also are seen in individuals with ASD.
The good news is autism is treatable, and many children who were diagnosed early have done exceptionally well with treatment. Through decades of research, the field of behavior analysis has developed many techniques for increasing useful behaviors and reducing those that may cause harm or interfere with learning. Applied Behavior Analysis, ABA, is the use of these techniques and principles to bring about meaningful and positive change in behavior.
ABA, which is called Applied Behavior Analysis, assumes that all behavior comes under the control of the environment. One does something to get something they want or to avoid something they don't want. What Applied Behavior Analysis does is identify those maintaining variables and then teaches pro-social alternatives. For example, I can be aggressive to make you go away, or I can be taught to ask you to go away, and in which case the latter would take over and aggression would be dropped out of one's repertoire.
Realizing Children's Strengths, or RCS Learning Center, is a Massachusetts-based not-for-profit organization whose mission is to provide the highest quality of individualized behavioral and educational services for children with autism spectrum disorder and other developmental disabilities. The staff at RCS believes that every child has unique skills and is dedicated to helping each child develop these skills and reach their full potential.
When you go to a school meeting, usually you hear, this is what your kid can't do compared to a typical child. But at RCS, they do all the testing, and when you meet with them, it's amazing because they say, these are all the things your child can do, and these are all the things we think they can do, and let's make a plan to get there. So as a parent, it's amazing to feel like this is a place where my kid can really reach his potential. Built into every lesson and every day is an attitude from the staff that says, this kid is going to do amazing things, and aren't I lucky to be a part of that?
From its early learner program through its intensive day program, RCS accepts students from ages 3 to 22.
RCS was really designed to make sure that we can meet the individual needs of each of our students. One of the ways that we accomplish this is by offering a one-to-one staff-to-student ratio for each of our students throughout the day. Within this day, they go to 3 different environments. They're in intensive teaching time where they're sitting at the table and they're working on their skills within that one-to-one, learning communication, learning play, learning academic skills, depending on where their level happens to be. Another place is natural environment time where they still have their one-to-one, but they may be paired with another student with their one-to-one, and they're able to sit and to either play games and work on socialization skills, or or they may do some kind of language-based activities. Then there's also group time where all the kids within their age level and skill level come together, all with their one-to-ones, and they're able to sit and learn in a group format and learn to listen to just one teacher, and they may be working on academic or social skills within that area as well.
Well, my son Julian is 10, and he was diagnosed at age 2.5 with autism. He doesn't have a lot of language, and that can be frustrating for him. And when he was 6, he started banging his head on the floor, on the wall really hard. And at first it would happen when he had a toothache or a stomach ache, and then he was doing it all the time. And we were at a total loss as to how to respond. We worked with behavior therapists, we worked on a sensory diet, tried a helmet, tried a safe space in his bedroom. Nothing was working, and it was just getting worse. And we were getting calls from the school, come pick him up, he's having a bad day, we're worried about him. And then also some days we had to hold him all day. One of us had to physically have our arms around him to keep him safe until he went to sleep. So the first day that I brought Julian to RCS, I was sure I was going to get a phone call saying, come get him, we can't handle this. That was my big fear, but that didn't happen. RCS welcomed him with open arms, and they said, we can handle this, we can do this, we can help your son. So they made a plan to help him accept his helmet, to be safe. They increased his language by really giving him a lot of opportunities to ask for things. And through that plan, by 6 months, the head banging was really low, and within a year it was completely gone. So it's night and day as a family what we can do now with Julian being safe. We can go out as a family in the community, and I feel like RCS saved us and gave us our son back.
RCS Learning Center is committed to creating a school-wide environment that exceeds the standards for teaching students with autism effectively. RCS strives to provide the best services imaginable for children and their families. To learn more or to donate, contact RCS Learning Center today or visit rcslearning.org.